And yeah.
Okay, so what he just said was ahí está. Now this is the same voice line that we heard in the previous OGR4. That basically translates to there he is. Alright, so in today's video, we're going to be dissecting the new Chapter 5 gameplay walkthrough that Game Informer just posted. Now it is worth noting that this footage does come from Capcom. And it has been heavily edited. So you're going to be seeing a lot of cuts. That's not me. That is actually from Capcom's footage that they gave to Game Informer to showcase. Now, it is also worth noting that there is a bit of Spanish here, so we are going to be translating that. So let's get started.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to Game Informer. I'm your host, Alex Van Aken, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of this exclusive gameplay footage that we have from Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Dude, I'm
Chapter
so hyped.
5. We're going to be
like,
seeing
this looks really good.
Some church gameplay, some Ashley gameplay, and some of the cabin fight, as well as
as mentioned before in the article that Marcus Stewart posted, he did specify that you can sneak through this whole area. So I wonder if they're going to showcase that. So let's get started.
Overall, fighting Ganado and trying to stay alive. So we've got about 12 minutes of footage here to show you today. And I'm joined by Marcus.
By the way, I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but ganado means like cattle. It kind of means like a herd. So like kind of like it's mostly referring to like farm animals. So again, it does make a lot of sense when we're referring to the whole infection that occurs in Resident Evil 4 because it is a parasite. And so it's funny how they kind of treat the villagers as like cattle, like like farm animals, and that's their names. So I don't think I've ever mentioned that. But yeah, anyways, let's continue.
Stewart, how are you, Marcus?
Yeah, so
I'm feeling great. I'm happy to be seeing this section again because, as I mentioned in the cover story I wrote, I had a lot of fun playing it.
Yeah, so Marcus Stewart, that's the guy that wrote the 12-page article that we did cover on the channel as soon as it released. So let's continue. All right, so here, as we can see here, Ashley is going up. As mentioned before in the previous video with Ashley's video, I did cover that. It's very similar to Resident Evil 0. So yeah, let's continue. And it is the church. So
absolutely.
We were correct.
So yeah, we are. This footage starts out, and
and that's exactly what he said in the article, is that she'll be able to be she's going to be a lot more helpful in this game. She is going to be able to walk up ladders, go down. She doesn't need you to catch her all the time. But she can also kick down ladders. So this is awesome. This is the first time that we're seeing this in action. Again, this was all just mentioned in Marcus Stewart's article.
Simply escaping from the church. This is how many hours into the game would you say this is, Marcus?
Yeah, it's hard to say because we don't know how long the other chapters are. It's got to be at least
He only played Chapter 1 and Chapter 5, so that's the only thing that was part of the demo. So Capcom only chose to show that. So he wouldn't know how long it is, So this is kind of a wild question.
Probably like 3-ish hours, I would guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This is not our gameplay, by the way. If people are wondering, this is a B-roll that Capcom provided, so this is someone on the team playing, not us.
Yes.
Oh, and he's going to catch her?
We did play through this section, everything that you see today. An important disclaimer, Capcom did help out with accommodations for travel. That means like flights, hotel. And
so that's what he mentioned, Marcus Stewart, in the art. No, sorry, this is what the producer mentioned in the previous video that we covered. They said that this is the only time that Ashley is going to need you to catch her, and this is just to pay an homage to the OG Resident Evil. So that's really cool that we're seeing that. We don't need to do that anymore. Ashley has 2 legs. She can use them now. She's not a total princess.
With this cover trip, we didn't have any of those conversations. Like, that's our bosses that handle all that. We kind of just show up and do our job. But it is an important disclaimer. That being said, we are not influenced by that.
Roost, I've secured Baby Eagle.
Copy that. Is she okay?
Yeah, we're seeing all the screenshots here.
Well done,
this is all the things that we ascertained. So it's all correct.
I'm sending you the coordinates for the extraction point. Make your way there, and don't let anything happen to be.
Hunnigan looks hot.
Copy that.
Not gonna lie.
Hurry. The weather is getting worse.
I mean, she's always hot, so. Yeah.
We're gonna go. The Hunnigan conversations are.
We're gonna go over the whole character models and what I think about them. Right. I'm just touching really lightly on the character models, but I am gonna go do that in a separate video. But I want to see more characters like Wesker. I want to see Krauser. I want to see Eder, because all we've seen is just like a little couple of shots of Eder. We've seen nothing of Krauser and Wesker so far. So yeah.
Which is nice.
You can kind of move around while it's happening.
Yep, so that's the villa.
Nice shot of the
that's
map
where they're
there.
going to see
to
Lewis.
The helicopter extraction point where nothing will go wrong, I'm sure. And So yeah, in the beginning you saw Leon and Ashley.
Oh, and that was the elegant headdress. So the elegant headdress was a treasure that you could get in the OG RE4. So I really like that. They're really being faithful to the game. And you know what? That is not the same location that you can find the original, like the elegant headdress in the OG RE4. But again, I really like how they're keeping that, the same kind of treasures, even though they're in different spots to keep it nice and fresh for us, gamers that have loved, RE fans that have loved the OG RE4.
Sort of just talking about like, hey, we need to get out of here. Fun fact, without spoiling, there's a little
so this is the Grave Robber side mission. Again, Marcus Stewart, the guy that's actually speaking right now, he did tell us how to solve this. You have to shoot like the little emblems or like little bells that are on top of the graves. That's how you shoot them. That's how you solve that little side mission. And the way that you know which graveyards, like which tombstones, to shoot, is by knowing the same kind of symbols from the OG RE4. So I'm pretty sure it was a symbol that kind of looked like an S, another that looked like an M, and I think there was an E as well. These are different symbols, but I'm pretty sure that if you have knowledge of the OG RE4 for the puzzles, they are going to help you in the remake. So that's what he said. That was the case with this side mission. I do want to specify it was just this side mission where the OG, having knowledge of the OG RE4 puzzle kind of helped you solve this side mission. So, really cool
area in that upper deck that you can find if you don't want to just beeline it straight for that ladder.
Oh, interesting.
So keep an eye
so there's going to be so much to explore. I really like that. There's going to be more aspects to explore, different routes. The other thing that he also did mention in the article is that when he was entering the village, and it's in this chapter, when he's entering the village, the producer literally told him, no, give me the controller. And he's like, okay. And he took him down underneath the tunnels underneath the village. Now, if you guys remember correctly, there was a sort of area like that in OG RE4 where you would actually go down and kind of see the merchant and then go back to where the village square was. And so it seems like they've taken those tunnels. But if you guys also remember in the original, I think in the village fight scene in the extended gameplay trailer with Leon, we kind of saw a well with like a ladder like in the corner as Leon was fighting. And it's right after he shoots the cow, I think. It's in that area in the village square. And so I think that's where he's going to basically pop out. So the fact that the game has added several different aspects, like different areas to go to, you don't have to play it the same. They're also adding this kind of stealth mechanic as well. So as mentioned in the previous video, it seemed like the guy kind of screwed up here. Because we're going to see right now, he's going to get caught. And I think that was my theory. Now, we don't know if that's 100% true. We're going to see just now. But it seems like the ability to go through this area is possible. It's possible if you can go through this area. So we'll see right now. I'm excited, guys. I'm excited.
There. I found it on my playthrough. So yeah, we are...
That's
making
really
our way
cool.
Through here.
That there's different ways that you can go about it.
Moving out the way because he's all big and strong.
So it's not so linear. Yeah, so here he's sneaking. Wait. Okay, so now they're speaking Spanish. And that you're kind of hearing the kind of service that they're doing inside of the church, and they're doing that occultic kind of prayer. This is something he added. You can sneak through. That's what he said in the article. But let's see if we can hear that. It is worth noting too that the audio from the rain is taking a lot of the sound here. So I'm gonna crank up the volume. Hopefully he doesn't talk, because then that's not gonna be good. All right, let's see. No, a little bit back.
Spread out.
Okay.
Spread out.
Okay.
No, it's really hard, guys. It's really hard. The rain is just taking so much. Did Capcom do that on purpose? Did Capcom like deliberately make it a little like did they like raise up the volume for the sound effects? I'm curious because I can barely hear anything. Also, why is, I mean it is more realistic if we hear the sound more, but also I kind of want to hear what they're saying, right? Or maybe it's just the quality of the video. Okay, I can hear it.
Come on.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay, so what he just said was ahí está. Now this is the same voice line that we heard in the previous OGR4. That basically translates to there he is. Now let's go back a little because I want to see the stealth mechanic of Leon just for a second. Let's just break this down. Let's see if we can hear the Spanish.
Because he's all big and strong.
Okay, Ashley's saying a cold. Okay, so that was the action, right? The commands that Leon can give. So in the previous article that we covered in yesterday's video for Ashley, his commands are spread out and come on. So it's very similar to RE5 as mentioned in that video. So spread out. And it's cool how Ashley says, okay, That's cool. I like that. It brings me back to RE5. And it kind of makes me wonder, are they working on Resident Evil 5? I think so. They're incorporating a lot of aspects. Is she saying the same thing that they're saying? Like they're chanting the same kind of thing. That's interesting. I couldn't really hear though. Again, too much rain.
Come on.
Okay.
And yeah, this part.
Yeah,
was,
so there he is. That's what he said.
Pretty fun to get through. I tried to get through it stealthily the first.
So she just said, no dejen que se escape. I'm pretty sure I heard that. I didn't really hear the beginning part. Again, I'm kind of deciphering from just hearing one part and kind of just hearing it, but I'm pretty sure she said, no dejen que se escapen, or both of them. So don't let them escape. That's what she's saying. And that old lady's running, man. She's running.
A couple times.
I think... Wait. Did one guy say te encontré? Again, these are all the same lines that we heard from the OG RE4, so this is awesome. And that's exactly what the head translator or the translator said of the game. He said that all of the classic lines, they're keeping it in the remake, but they're making them more Spanish from Spain. So yeah, they're changing that and the amount of people. Anyways, let's continue. Yeah, okay, so we heard two lines there. Again, detrás de ti, so that basically translates to behind you, right? That's the classic line that we heard in the OGR4 where they said, detrás de ti, imbécil. So that basically translates to behind you, imbecile. And so it's really cool that we're seeing this in the new remake. And on top of that, now this is nothing new. We did cover this before. And he also said, únete con nosotros. So we heard that also in the extended gameplay trailer. And it was very hard to hear during that time. So this is just confirmation of what we already translated in that video. If you haven't seen those videos where we go over and we translate everything, make sure to go check that out. And by the way, I will be doing a full stream of this game and translating every bit of the Spanish as we go through when the game releases. So make sure to subscribe so that you guys don't miss that. But going back to what he just said, yeah, únete con nosotros. That is a new line that we did not have in the OGR4. That translates to join us. It's really creepy. Can you just imagine? Únete con nosotros, join us. It's so awesome. So anyways, let's continue. Okay, so I'm just hearing a bunch of words. Vosotros, so he's talking about them. And then I heard imbéciles. So this is different. So they're no longer saying... So it's really cool how they're making plural. And by the way, that's actually what the translator said. He said in that comment that he left in my video that the only changes that they really did were to gender and if they're referring to plural. So if there's more than one. And so right there, he didn't say imbecile. He said imbéciles, which would make it plural. So he's referring to Leon and Ashley, calling them imbeciles, right? Making it plural. So again, these are new lines, but very interesting. Let's go back a little just to see what they were saying. Because again, I was hearing a bunch of phrases, but very sporadic. So let's go back. Let's see if we catch anything else. I heard voy a, so I'm going to... But then we're still hearing like chanting from the church, and the sound design is really awesome. So I really like that. It's very realistic. You know what I mean? So let's go back a little. Let's go back. Yeah, voy a. So I'm assuming he's that I'm going to kill you, because that was something that we heard in the OGR4, te voy a matar. So voy a, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what the next word is, but I'm assuming that he's going to say something along those lines. Let's continue.
You okay? Yeah.
De vosotros, yeah, from you guys. Again, it seems like I didn't hear the full part of the voice lines. It seems like some of it is being cut off. Let's see. Oh, I heard something. But again, there's so much sound in the back with the music and, you know, the atmospheric music and the rain. Let's see if we hear that. I'm at max volume, by the way, so yeah, but it also doesn't help that my ear is plugged. My right ear is plugged, guys. I've had it plugged for like 2 weeks. No, 3 weeks now. It's not a good time to have a plugged ear. But anyways, I'm hearing everything from my left ear, but still.
So you're gonna know.
Yeah, so I couldn't really hear much. Let's go back. It's really hard with all the noise. Bajo a ustedes. It's also with the gunshots too. It's taking precedence. The rain. It's just a combination of sounds. Yeah, I can't decipher it, guys. It's really muddied with all of the sounds.
So you're gonna notice.
Yeah, so he said imbéciles again, so imbeciles, and plural. So he's talking to Leon and Ashley. No longer is he talking to Leon only.
There's gonna be a few jumps in the clips here. Again, that's a Capcom thing, so this isn't going to be a straight run through.
Yeah, the guy's talking over it, and so again, it's just there's so much sound. It's hard. I can't decipher anything else. And like always, if you guys are Spanish speakers and you hear something that I missed, let me know down in the comments so that all other people that are watching the video can also hear what they have to say. As mentioned, it doesn't help that my right ear is plugged, but I still got my left ear. So, out of all the days, my ear has to be plugged on this day.
It's gonna jump around at points, but as you can see, the flash grenade still very effective against.
Okay, we got a skip here.
Transformed Ganado.
Yeah, so this was a skip to right after the fight. And it seems like he's going next to the tombstones. I wonder if he's going to do part of the side mission. As mentioned before, you kind of have to shoot the emblem that's on top of the certain types of twin gravestones. The insignias that we know from the OGR4. I think it was a bell he said in the game article. Let's see right now.
As we enter the cemetery, you get a little bit of
the emblem inside the
a taste
thing.
of one of the side quests, which is sort of a spin on the cemetery puzzle. As you can see, you can still shoot birds' nests to get those precious eggs, or I guess a chicken egg that's in a bird nest in the tree. Don't ask me how that works.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Yeah, that's kind of weird. And by the way, I got to put it down because I'm hearing him really loud now. I don't think there's any more. Yeah, there's no Spanish in this area. It seems like, okay, so we're seeing the merchant here. So this is a screenshot. We saw 2 screenshots here where we saw Leon with a red 9, and then we also saw the merchant. I think that's the area. But I assumed that it was during the day, and this kind of confused me. This threw me off. But I realized that it must be like in some kind of shed, some kind of a thing. That's what I theorized. And it seems like I'm right, but apparently it's not during the day. Maybe you can go there before, but the picture that I saw before it looked like during the day because in the back it kind of looked like light. But anyways, let's see.
Original game, you killed snakes and got chicken eggs, which was always kind of weird. There he is.
Yeah, so you see how there's light on the right side? I think this was probably during the night because see that light where my face was, or my face is right now? There's light there, and I think the picture that was taken...
But I mean, in the original game, you killed snakes and...
Yeah, it's kind of light there in the corner. Let me zoom in so you guys know exactly what I'm referring to. But I'm talking about this area right here. Oh, no. Yeah, this area right here. Oh, there you go. That area right there behind the logs. Or what is it? Logs or something? Some kind of, I don't know, some kind of building materials. But right there. See, it's kind of light. But it's during the night, so there's no other light source. I mean, there are skulls here, glowing skulls, I think. So that's probably that lighting is a little bit strange there. So I think that probably was during the night. But then again, it could have been during the day, and this is exactly where it is. You know what? I think this section of the merchant. So this merchant shop is in between the church and the village square. I think that this is probably the merchant that we see underground. So you know how in the OGR4, before we go up into the church, we actually see we see the whatchamacallit, we see the merchant in the tunnels, and that's a little bit weird that you have to traverse through the tunnels to get to the church. So it would make more sense if in the remake, that they change the layout so that there's actually a normal path for you to go from the village square to the church, so that all the ganados can go there. That would just make more sense, right, from a village perspective. Like, why would you have like an underground access? But as we do know for a fact, that underground passage is still there, because the Game Informer guy that's talking, he did specifically say that you can go underground. The producer showed him, look, you don't have to fight all those enemies. You can go underground. So I think it's the same underground access that we actually go through for the OG RE4. Very interesting stuff. And I'm super hyped, guys. This is crazy.
Eggs, which was always kind of weird. There he is.
Took care of a request.
Okay, that's the merchant's voice.
Man himself.
Look at you.
So you can see here turning in side quest, which is what you're going to be doing.
He does sound a lot more British than before. Again, he is doing more of like a I don't know the accents in Britain, so I don't know. Is that more of a Cockney accent? I know I have a lot of British viewers, so let me know down in the comments. Does that sound British to you guys? Is that okay? I mean, of course, I do know for a fact that the OG RE4 was not. Like, that guy was definitely not British. I think one of my viewers said that was actually the same voice actor that voiced Leon. But as mentioned, if you are from the UK, let me know down in the comments if that accent works for you. Is that guy actually from the UK? Let me know, guys. I'm curious. These are the types of things that actually are interesting to me. So yeah. Okay, wait. Let's pause that and look. Okay, so we have the insignia key. That's interesting that you can sell the insignia key. That's interesting. So is that just going to be a different mechanic where you're collecting keys and stuff and then you can sell them? I wonder if you can sell them, can you buy them back? Is it going to be like Resident Evil 3 Remake, where if you played the game several times, Resident Evil 3 Remake was not the best remake. We can all agree on that, but it was a good game. And the replayability factor for Resident Evil 3 Remake was top tier. Like, it was amazing. And also Resident Evil 2 Remake. But what I thought was really interesting in RE3 Remake is that at the end game store, you could actually purchase more, you could buy like the lockpick. So you could have like their lockpicking tools at the start of the game. Or you could also have that little wrench thing or whatever. I don't know tools, guys, so forgive me. But you know what I mean, right? You could buy items that would help you progress through the game. So it's interesting. Will RE4 Remake kind of be the same thing? If you sell these keys, will you be able to buy them back so that you don't have to go and find them physically, but you could just sell them? Or no, is that not the case? Or is it just like a new kind of a thing where if you find any keys, you could just sell them? And yeah, and that's just, you're making a profit from that. Either way, I think that's really cool. Now, if we look down here, we have a hexagon piece A, elegant headdress, yellow diamond, the SG09R, yeah, that's his handgun, the W870. Okay, so that is the same shotgun that was in RE2 Remake, right? RE3 Remake, I think they were in both RE2 and RE3 Remake. So it's funny how we're seeing similar weapons. We have the TMP. We got like the bolt action shotgun, but of course this is like the M19. Again, I don't know guns. I'm Canadian. And then at the end, we do have the bolt thrower, which is a very cool, interesting weapon that kind of reminds me of the mine thrower and kind of like the crossbow, Ada's crossbow, because you can fit, according to the game article guy, you can fit explosive arrows, and your normal arrows, you can actually shoot ganados. And I wonder if that's actually stealth. That's another thing that I forgot to mention before. Is that going to help you out with stealth? And but one of the things he stated is that you can actually pick the ammo back up. So that's really cool. That's really dope. All right, let's continue here.
I wonder how he moves with all that heavy equipment.
Whoa. Let's look at this. Okay, you know what? I'm going to do my zoom in feature here. Okay. Yeah, we had for Red 9 special offer 9,800. Interesting. I think it said here limited sale 30% off for the Red 9. Power 150, ammo capacity. Oh, I really like this kind of stats, so you can actually see what's better. I kind of like that. That's awesome. Oh, and you can actually see max specs, after upgrade, current specs. Wait a second. Wait, can you switch around to see like the max damage that you can do? Oh, you can compare weapons too. That is awesome. So that's just the quality of life kind of an update. I really like that. Yeah, and I really like how the same style of upgrading is still apparent in the remakes. We have 1.50, 8. I'm pretty sure you could up the power up to 8 if I'm not mistaken. We just played a run through of Resident Evil 4 where we translated the OG, the OG RE4 Spanish. So I should know this, but anyways, yeah, we have first aid spray rocket launcher. Oh, it's now 80,000. So before it used to be 30,000 pesetas. So that's interesting that the economy is kind of upped, right? So that means that whatever weapon that we thought was this amount of money is actually going to be a lot different for the rocket launcher, correct? So it's going to be a lot more for just weapons in general. So even maybe like the infinite rocket launcher or like the infinity Tommy gun, right? Those weapons are the typewriter. Those weapons are probably going to be a lot more. They're not going to be 1 million pesetas. They're probably going to be 10 million. You know what I mean? Like the economy obviously is a lot more than before. The first aid spray is 5,000 pesetas. I'm pretty sure that was the same. Maybe it's just 80,000 for the rocket launcher just because it's the OP, right? And they don't want people to use it like all the time because in the OG RE4 it was very easy to come by. Like if you got stuck or it was your first time playing, you could just buy rocket launchers for every boss battle, like literally. So I kind of like that. Maybe it's just the rocket launcher and it's not just every economy. Now here we have recipes. We do know that there's going to be that crafting mechanic, which I've talked about on the channel. I'm not a big fan of. Like it's very similar to like other games like Last of Us, which works for that kind of a game. But like how does somebody make a flash grenade? You know what I mean? Like a homemade flash grenade that doesn't really it doesn't add like it's not cohesive to the rest of Resident Evil. So again, that's something new. And hey, it's a good game mechanic. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's just weird to think that Leon is like, all right, I'm going to make my own flash grenade, and it's probably going to not look like a homemade flash grenade. It's actually going to look like the real deal, which again, I'm not a fan of. This is something that they added kind of like in RE7, RE8 Village, and RE2 Remake did not have that. RE3 Remake did have the combining, but that was something that we already saw in the series. Now, here we have the attachable mines. Those attachable mines are going to be the attachable mines that are attached to the bolt throwers' arrows or bolts, right? Arrows is for bow and arrow, but crossbow, they use bolts. So those are going to be attachable mines for the bolts. So very interesting. Here we have buy, tune up, sell, trade. Yep, we already know that. That's just like the OG. What is that? Oh, those are what is that? Files? Can you sell files? Interesting. Okay, that's different. Yeah, is that files? That little thing right there. Ah, that's interesting. Yeah, what is that? Oh, that's just everything that you can buy. Oh, you know what it is? It's not files. Sorry. This is the buying thing, and that's the crafting. So those are like the crafting files that you can get. So this is probably just a section for recipe. Yeah, this is just splitting up into sections. So if you just want to focus on buying guns, you switch to R1. Shotguns, bigger rifles and stuff. Any health and upgrade. And I'm assuming the briefcase is upgrades to the briefcase because we did know from the game article that he did say that you could actually buy charms for your briefcase that actually give you power ups, and maybe you'll also be able to buy different types of briefcases because we do know from the deluxe edition, they're going to have access to a golden briefcase, I think another dark briefcase. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. We still haven't seen those mechanics. Maybe we'll see that later. But yeah, and those guns, I'm assuming, I don't know what that is with the drop symbol, but yeah. All right, so we've looked at all of this. Before we also talked about that these are the spinels. But what is this gray kind of a ticket? Oh, those must come from the side missions, but I'm pretty sure the side missions, it did say that they'll give you spinels. So that's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Again, we're just speculating here, so all right, let's continue.
Cool.
So much to cover, guys. Yeah, so this was the same screenshot we saw before.
Like a Dragon Ball, like Piccolo weighted training gears.
Whoa. So you see how last time they specifically said, the Game Informer guy, he did say that you could upgrade the lethality and as well as the durability for your knives. So I think that was the section. Let's see.
Must be pretty strong. It's kind of like a Dragon Ball.
Tune up.
Like Piccolo.
Here we go. So increased power, increased durability. So that's the lethality that he was referring to, which is just the damage. Here you can repair. which is awesome. Okay, I didn't know that you could repair. That's awesome. I really like that they're adding that kind of repair feature. I'm assuming, like I said before, I am theorizing that it's probably going to be just like RE2 Remake, where they give you like the infinite knife that never breaks. So that's going to be awesome for those kinds of runs that you just want to parry everything. Like, there's going to be so many parry only runs. That's going to be sick. Like, it's going to be so cool to see. And the producer did say that knife only runs are going to be a thing. Like, they're going to be able to, are going to be able to do it. Yeah, so far we haven't seen that many guns. But again, this is just chapter 5, but really awesome. Awesome stuff.
Gear is probably pretty strong. But,
oh, did I miss another thing?
You know, must be pretty strong.
Okay, sorry
It's kinda
guys.
like
Let's go back.
like a Dragon Ball.
He's
like
going by
slow,
really fast.
Weighted training gear.
Here we go. Oh, dang, that's so fast.
Training.
There we go. All right. Increase power, level 3. Wait, okay, so I'm assuming here that the levels are going to be increased as you progress through the game. So it's kind of like how before, you know, how in the OGRA4, the merchant, you would go to him and you would be like, no. You know, like I have something new for you, stranger. You know what I mean? So you couldn't just upgrade from the beginning, like to the max, even if you had all the pesetas in the world. So that would make sense. Yeah, 18,000. Yeah, increase rapid fire. Yeah, and we show that for the other guns. I'm gonna go back to normal speed.
I was thinking he's just like into CrossFit. You know?
You know, we don't know. He's a mysterious figure, as you see. We're upgrading our equipment here.
Yeah, why are these guys talking about Dragon Ball? Are they referring to the merchant? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
Now it's mentioned in the cover story, which is nice, which you're going to be needing because they're...
Dang, we still got a little bit more, guys. All right, let's hurry this up, because...
And you're going to be using it quite a bit for the new parry mechanic.
Yeah, so see how it's so light there? That was the exact shot that Capcom released with the Game Informer article. So that's what led me to believe that this was during the day, was this corner right here. But that must be the lighting. I think there's an issue with the lighting there, if I'm not going to be... Yeah.
There's another
see, it's still
quest
light.
Right there. You're going to want to keep an eye out.
Yeah, there's like a shine there, like as if it's supposed to be like the moonlight. I don't know. Somebody in the lighting department kind of screwed up there. But anyways, whatever. It doesn't matter. Oh, this is the Savage Mutt. Yeah, so this is the whatchamacallit. This is the Colmillos. This is the Colmillos side mission that he was talking about, and how you had to go through specific areas to kind of activate this side mission. That's very interesting, and that's exactly what the guy said. And the producer kind of just took the control, and he's like, "This is how you do it." He just showed him, which I think is hilarious.
There's the Wild Dog quest. That was one of the more involved quests that we saw so far.
Absolutely. We need to keep moving. And you won't see the solution in this footage, but you will see sort of what's on the other end of this side quest for you.
Yeah.
The dog is hard to find. We are going to show the dog, but the way to find the dog will be, I guess, a little bit of a mystery. And also important to note, we turned left when we left that door. There is another path behind us if we were to turn right out of that door that goes into an underground tunnel that like takes you up through a well in the village. So there's a lot of paths.
Yep.
Available.
That's what he talked about in the article.
We both came through here. We just assumed just the way the camera's framed. We're like, okay, it's the only way to go. But yeah, wanted to.
Okay, so what she just said is ahí están. There they are. Again, it's very cool that they're not just saying ahí está. So like in the OGRE4, they didn't have the voice actors or the voice lines were only specific to Leon, and sometimes that got them in trouble. Sometimes it didn't make much sense. If you guys saw my stream for the OGRE4, there's certain cases where it's like, what? That doesn't make sense for the situation. But the translator specifically said that no, they did make a real effort to make each voice line specific to if Leon was by himself or if Leon was with Ashley, which is awesome. That's exactly the kind of quality that I want to see in video games. And also another thing I also wanted to note is that pay attention here that if when you go back here, make sure you guys go underground. Don't go where this guy is going, because just like the Game Informer guy said, you can go underneath the tunnels before. So you really, when you're playing this game, when it releases, which I'm so hyped for, make sure that that you check everything. Check everything. Don't just don't just blast through. There's a lot of secrets in this game.
Check this out. And we're like, oh,
front kick.
Not bad, right?
Here we go. We've got.
So we saw this.
Village at night.
Oh, what did she say?
The lady thought she could go. We've got the.
Let me put the volume up.
Village at night. The lady thought.
Nosotros Wait, what did he say? The guy's
Village
talking too.
Ignite. The lady thought she could.
I couldn't hear.
Leon.
Again, there's so much
down for
sounds. The guy's talking. Yeah.
I was gonna just comment on the rain. I know that there's a lot of talk about
Raingate.
Raingate. I do agree. I think it
doesn't look the best. Hey, I just wanted to mention this section right here, I don't know what house this is. This must be another house in the village before you go to the village square or in the barn. I don't think this is the villa. But this right here looks it looks a lot like the house, almost like the garden section, like when you're going through the mansion in RE1 and you go to the guardhouse. Like the stone walls, all of that, it looks like that. Like, this is really cool. I love that. By the way, whoever is the architecture like design for Resident Evil, they've really done a good job of keeping it very cohesive. So, a lot of the buildings, they look very much like the previous buildings. So I love how, even though we're revisiting this in RE4 Remake, we're revisiting this game, they're taking the opportunity to make the series even more cohesive by making the buildings very similar to the buildings we've encountered in previous games. So I really like that. Yeah, that looks a lot like RE1.
Down a little bit.
Yeah, that looks like the guardhouse.
It does feel like intentionally, like it is intentionally obfuscating the environment.
Yeah, it looks like the mansion. Whoever designed this obviously had that in mind to make it look like the mansion in RE1, which I honestly love. Like I said, I love that kind of cohesive kind of story kind of thing. And like I said, Resident Evil has had a really great architecture with all of that. Like, whoever's in charge of that department in Capcom and for the Resident Evil developers, they've done an excellent job of keeping the whole series looking very similar to each other. So it's not like a completely different thing.
And kind of adds to that tension. Like, you can't see
it
what
looks
you're
like
shooting.
it. Yeah,
I do agree,
that is
though.
so dope.
It's a bit much.
That is so awesome.
And what would be great, Marcus? If there was like a rain.
Wait a second. This looks like... Wait a second. This hallway right here, it kind of looks like that same hallway where Vitores Mendez was standing. If you guys remember, there was a scene, I think in the trailer, where Vitores Mendez kind of looks like he's standing in the corner. That looks like he's standing right there. And where is this, by the way? I'm confused. Where is this house? Is this something new? Is this the Big Cheese's house? No, it can't be. Oh,
I'm kidding.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Wait a second. So why did he go here? So the village chief, if we look at the map in the RE4 remake, the map for the village chief is the same as it was in the OG RE4. It's in the south, but he has to go to the north. So he's backtracking. Yeah, that's what's happening here. He's actually backtracking. So this area, you don't need to go through this area. No, this is the Big Cheese's house. So that's interesting. And that's something that the Game Informer guy, I think, did specify. He did specify, and I am second-guessing myself here. I'm not entirely sure. But I think he did say something regarding that the explorability, like going back and backtracking is more of a thing. And in this game than as opposed to the OG RE4, because that one was kind of just pushing you, to go forwards. And if you went back, you didn't really find anything. So I think he's doing that side mission. I think that's why you would go back to find the dog, is because the dog is probably in this section. So he had to go back to the south of the map and go through Vitores Mendez's house. That's why. And it is that house, because that's exactly the window where Eder shoots him in the OG RE4. And it looks, this is beautiful. This house is amazing. Guys, we got it. This is Vitores Mendez's house. So it's in a completely opposite way, because Leon and Ashley have to go to the north of the map, and they're literally in the south. Yeah, it's for the side
I love
mission.
the lighting in this game. Like it just the
RE0
the
here,
on
the same kind of a thing
the
with Billy
and just how dark
and
it is.
Rebecca.
It's like it just makes
the
especially,
ladder.
like, interiors like this. If they lift Ashley up to do her thing. Get Leon up there.
It
just makes the interiors creepier. Like that. Like the first time that owl made me jump.
Yeah, he's in the
just
attic.
See the glowing eyes in the dark.
Yeah.
Vitores
Oh my God,
Mendez.
what is that?
There. I will say there were a couple times when I was playing the demo where I was kind of in a very dark.
Okay, now he's back in the village square, and we actually did see him going to the south. Remember where the lady was like, "Ahí están" or whatever, and then she kind of transformed and I couldn't hear what they were saying? That's the same exact spot, so they were going to the south, yeah. So it seems like Capcom just cut that out, but I really love the backtracking. Backtracking is going to be a thing more heavily in this game again. So that's awesome, yeah, especially to do side missions, and it's funny how you need Ashley to go through those areas again. Or the OG RE4 did have that, but it wasn't to that extent. So that's interesting. Anyways, let's continue.
Environment and
so much stuff, guys. There's so much stuff.
Which is kind of frustrating. So I'm just kind of like.
Oh, and look at the mountains. Wait, we just saw the mountains in the back. Oh my gosh. So that looks actually really pretty. Yeah, so if you guys remember too, in the Del Lago cinematic trailer, or not the cinematic trailer, but the RE4 remake trailer, the first one, we actually saw in the back where it was like we could see the mountains when you're fighting the Del Lago, and it looked really nice. Like it looked really pretty. And the fact here that you can see these, pine trees, you can see the mountain here, that looks really dope. So, and I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, if there's anybody here that's from Spain, I'm pretty sure the north is more forested areas, right? Again, I've never been to Spain, but let me know if that's correct. Yeah.
In the dark.
Anyways, let's continue.
It was
that looks
mostly
really
like outdoor.
nice.
Oh,
yes,
the dog.
Colmillos looks
Look at that
huge,
thing.
even bigger than
Weird. It looks
before.
like a scorpion tail. God, I'm looking at it again.
Holy cow, he's fast,
So yeah,
dude.
Capcom also pointed out, for those wondering, that this dog
they cut
is
the
not
fight.
the dog that...
Bro, no, they cut that fight too, dude. They're just cutting so much. Capcom, why did you do that? We didn't see anything.
Because, in this game, he's
okay.
presumably dead. So, at the time, we kind of were like, oh, maybe this
is the
dog.
barn.
And they were very clear to point out, like, nope, different dog. And
Hey, wait a second. What is that?
But yeah, that
They
that
also
dog
Let's go
would-
back. What was that tower behind
At the
him?
time, we kind of were like, oh, maybe
The
this
tower
is the
right
dog.
there.
And they
What is
were
that?
very
That's a huge
clear
building
to
there.
Point out, like, nope, different dog.
Oh, it's a windmill.
Okay.
Wow, so it looks even bigger. So the farm area looks a lot bigger. That windmill was huge. That was not part of the OG R4. No, wait a second. There was a windmill. What am I saying? Yeah, there was. You could actually shoot one of the medallions. But it wasn't that size. Like, this is a big freaking windmill, dude. So they've really done like their job here. Like, oh my gosh, like you got to give a round of applause to the team, to the developers. Like they've done like so much to just improve everything. You know what I mean? Like we did have the windmill in the barn section, but it was a lot smaller, and this is huge. I was like, what is that huge building? Is that the castle? But no, it's the windmill. Dude, that's so sick.
But yeah, that
They
dog
also
fight is
wouldn't-
pretty hard.
They also wouldn't definitively answer if it was the same dog in this game as in the old game. In terms of the one that's
Yeah, that's the
dead at
windmill.
the beginning
So
of the game.
it's
They're
a
like,
lot
maybe
bigger.
It's not the same dog, and it's like, okay.
So you see a
Yeah.
medallion
Oh, and the
up there,
medallion's in the
that's
same
going
place too.
on. Takes it
Yeah.
out. So you see, it's one of 5.
So they kind of
So I asked
switched
Capcom
the
about
layout
this. In the
here.
original game,
Yeah,
it's
so
kinda
that's
like
the
15 and
that's
same
the
area,
bridge,
they
and
said
that's the
that-
villa. So that's where we're gonna fight. And can you see the mountains here on the side? Yeah, there's mountains. That looks really pretty. Yeah, a lot better. I really like the whole exterior. We kind of get more of a feeling of how it looks. I don't know if this kind of area exists in Spain, but let me know down in the comments down below. I do know that Spain does have mountains, but does it look like, if you're from Spain, let me know. Where could this take place? You know what I mean? Like, let me know. I'm really curious. So,
that side quest reappears in different parts of the map. So you're going to be shooting. It sounds like you're going to be shooting medallions outside.
Oh,
of
we're
just,
hearing
like, the
Lewis
village
again.
area. And they just sort of.
so
like,
as
divide
mentioned
them into,
before,
like,
I only heard 3 lines from Lewis, and so I'm excited to hear him now.
Batch of
Hopefully they don't
5.
cut that out. Yep, that's the villa.
You. Hey, listen, about earlier. Yeah, about that.
Hey, I see you found your missing senorita.
Senorita has a name, Miss Ashley. You are?
Who are you? What are you doing here? Very good questions, unfortunately. Hi.
Okay, so it seems like they took away the ballistic scene. The ballistics too. Yeah, they switched it to the señorita. Hearing his voice now, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be from hearing those 3 lines. So you know what? So far, I think it's okay. It's not the best, don't get me wrong, but it's not the worst either. So I thought it was really going to be bad. I was actually really getting pissed. I was like, dude, is this how it is? So that's kind of okay. Right now, I'm okay with his accent. That's not too bad. Yeah, that's not too bad. It, like I said, it could. There's a lot of room for improvement. Don't get me wrong here, but yeah, it's not as bad as I thought. I was like concerned. Is it going to be really bad? That's not good. But yeah, so I'm good.
It's game time.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Okay.
And due to the cuts,
I kind of feel
there's a lot
relief
of
right
that
now.
village
It's not
before
that bad.
the bridge that we ran over, that you can.
If anything,
fight-
it kind of sounds like he's talking a little down here, you know? Like he's almost like this. Like he's kind of down here talking. And it's not very that, like, I haven't heard anyone from Spain kind of talk like that. But you can hear that he's trying to kind of sound like this, you know? And so I can kind of say that it's okay. It's a better accent. But sometimes he does go a little overboard. And he says like, hey, you know, like that, those kinds of things. And that kind of makes it kind of throws you off. So again, not perfect, but a lot better than what I thought it was be. If anything, it kind of reminds me of like Salazar's voice from the OG RE4. So, because he kind of talks like right here, you know? So that's more, it's more like Latin American, I would say. Like I would see more of like a Mexican kind of a person kind of have that accent. But again, it's not the worst. So I feel relief right now. So it gets my approval so far. We haven't played the game, but you know, I've subsided my worries.
that they didn't show in this footage. It's where, at least during our playthrough, the brute first appears, the cow-headed enemy.
Right.
In that area just before the bridge that we
Yeah,
crossed.
RE2 Remake, we saw this already.
Yeah, because in the footage we've put out of this, you've
The
seen
ACOG,
the
we saw
cow guy show.
Okay, so what's interesting here is that the guys that are speaking, they did specifically say that, yeah, that they actually do encounter the bull man or the cow man, whatever you want to call him. We don't know his official name yet. You encounter him before, because that's what he said, and he went down like a sack of potatoes after just a couple of shotgun shells and just a roundhouse kick. There was some other YouTubers, Resident Evil YouTubers, that were saying that he's going to be like the executioner or he's going to be like a persistent kind of a guy. No, by the looks of it, as mentioned in my previous video, that doesn't seem like that's the case at all. Because the guy specifically said in the article that he went down, like he died after a couple of shots and a roundhouse kick. That's what that leads me to believe, like what my viewer said, Dodger. He was basically said that it kind of reminds me of the big man Magini. So he's more of a bullet sponge than normal enemies, but he's not like a full-fledged mini boss like the Garrador or, you know, the Wolverine guy or the other enemies types. You know what I mean? So it's not to that level of extreme. I would not call him or classify him as that kind of an enemy of like a boss, maybe a mini boss, as we're going to see we're going to see closely here, but it seems like he does go down really easy. So yeah,
Up in
appears
this fight,
here.
but you
Yeah.
actually fight him well before this. So
Yeah, so when
it
he
seems
shows
like
up
he's
in the
gonna
fight-
be what were we saying?
Yeah, he's definitely a recurring enemy, but when he shows up in the fight, you've already had to fight him before, and so I feel like it's extra tense because it's like, oh my god, I gotta fight this guy now.
Yes.
so-
I saw some people speculating that he might be a single persistent enemy that follows you. I'm
No.
pretty sure that is not the case.
Yeah,
He's
okay.
just
No,
another
I have-
enemy type.
yeah, that's what I
I-
was saying. From speculating from what they played, the way they made it seem did not suggest that at all. That's why I was like, no, that doesn't make sense. So I'm really glad that they came out and said that for certain, you know, that no, that's not the case, guys. So great. Thank you so much. Thank you for making that very clear.
Killed him several times in different areas.
Yeah.
Just a new enemy type.
So this fight was pretty wild, as it is in the original, but even more so here. And there he is, Mr. Bullman. There's been a lot of like back and forth, like is he a cow, is he a bull? But I was like, he's got a horn there, not the bull thing.
Well, a bull is just a cow.
Yeah, it's a female.
male
it's
I mean,
a
yeah,
female,
they're the same thing. But you know,
Yeah, it seems
like,
a lot of people are confused with it too. And again, we do not know what his official name is. The only people that called it a bull, and the reason I call him a bull is because the guys that wrote the article, the guys that are speaking, they're the ones that suggested that. You know, so I'm just going to go out and say it, that cow man kind of seems kind of lame. Now, it is worth mentioning also that the art director, the translation that he used for his character was cow man, right? He did say Cowman. If that's the case, that's gonna be kind of lame. I do prefer Bull a lot. As one of my viewers stated, El Toro would be an amazing name for this enemy, right? Right? It would be sick. So. But I don't know, right? We don't know, but I'm really excited to see what his name is. Hopefully it's not Cowman, because that seems a little lame. You know what I mean? But anyways, we're almost done. We're almost done, guys.
That's fair. Listen.
He's got a single horn there, it looks like.
And you cannot parry his attacks, it seems. I think Game Informer guy did specify that.
And that's
skipped.
the end of, the action.
Okay, so here we're seeing the combination of the elegant headdress, and he's putting the stones in there. That's so nice that they're keeping that in. This game is looking so awesome, guys.
We got to show off. This is a look at putting gems inside of treasures to increase their value. Of course, different combinations of gems net you different bonuses.
Oh, storage. Wait, storage? Oh, so you can put away guns. Oh my gosh, dude, that is so sick. So it's kind of a combination of what we had with the other Resident Evils and Resident Evil 4. So it's the best of both worlds. So essentially, before in RE4, you never had like a storage box. You could not store your weapons. You just had to sell them. So if you didn't have any room after you've beaten the game several times, like for example, what if I wanted to get this gun? And it's like, well, everything is full. I just have to sell them, which is kind of lame because then you have to rebuy, upgrade everything again. So that's just an awesome quality of life thing right there, where you could just store your weapons. That's amazing. That is really useful. So we're getting the best of both worlds. Best of like the original RE games where you had your little storage box and you had to open your inventory box, and then after you have your Resident Evil 4 briefcase where it's like, oh, that's sick, dude. That is so awesome. Little details like that, you can tell that the developers really wanted to make this a really great remake.
There are now customized cases that have different bonuses. So like the black.
Yeah, so as mentioned before, we did cover that, right? You can add charms, different types of briefcases as well will add different powers to you, to your character. So I think he did say that one of the charms you could get more power, pick up more items and stuff. So that's going to be sick because after you beat the game like on the hardest difficulty, you're probably going to get like a top tier charm, you know what I mean? So that's sick.
It
kind of reminds me of Resident Evil 6. How Resident Evil 6, you could literally, you remember how they kind of had like medallions? So you could have like a medallion that can kind of drop more ammo for you. Another medallion that only drops handgun ammo, or a medallion that makes you stronger, like a melee. I'm pretty sure like if you did like any melee attack, it would boost it. So that's very interesting that they're adding this kind of a thing here. It leads me to believe that they are thinking about the future of Resident Evil, and they probably are remaking a number of Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6. This is sick.
Drop rate for
awesome.
L resources. And you can.
Did he just say L resources? Bruh. Oh, that is so cringe, dude. Why'd you have to say it? That's so dumb. What the frick? What? Yeah, I was in Japan and I went up to somebody and I said like Arigate Gazai Mashita. Like, no. Like, what? Don't say that, okay? That's very typical like American kind of a joke, especially to like the I find that offensive. All right, I'll be honest with you guys. That is not cool. Yeah, don't say L resources. Like, oh, L resources. Yeah. Oh, I'm speaking Spanish. It's so no. Okay, it's not L, it's El. Okay? It's very simple. You can't get that, then don't speak the language, dude. Yeah. Dude.
You can pick up charms as well, a little chicken charm. The charms and the cases.
Yeah, the other thing I also find too is that he didn't even laugh. It's not funny. Anyways. Yeah, so here he says the chicken charm, different attaché cases. How you can see that there's 5. I wonder if you can store these in the storage. Here, you have the chicken here, increased drop rate resources. Yeah, so it seems like you're going to be adding that to the briefcase. That's interesting. Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, so as mentioned, and there's 30 charms that you can get. So we already know that there's that many charms in the game. So that's definitely a trophy, get all of the charms. So yeah, they're probably, beat all the side missions or, complete the game on professional, the hardest difficulty. And 5 attaché cases. We do know that there's 3 attaché cases that are releasing with a deluxe, so I'm assuming that that's that. They can change this, of course. They can add stuff with DLC. But this is hype, dude. This is sick.
They give you little passive bonuses.
Yeah. And you can do that stuff
Little
in the
chicken there.
typewriter menu as you saw. So you can't do that all the
Yeah,
time.
Resident Evil has really tried to add these new charms to like weapons since Resident Evil, what is it, 8, I think? That's when they kind of started. Was it Resident Evil 7? No, I'm not remembering Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 8 was when the first time that you could add like a little charm, wasn't it? Yeah, and then after Resident Evil Reverse. So it's funny how whoever's in charge of that really wants to add little charms. I think it's cool. I think it's kind of cute. You can have little chicken
just
there.
when you
and it kind of
reach
moves
those,
too.
safe spot.
Oh, you can inspect it? That's nice.
To keep up with all of our coverage,
All right, guys. So that is the stuff. Yeah, that is the whole chapter 5. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to click this video where we cover the other videos because we got a lot of information this week.